gonna stop being lazy. Yeah. And I became creative. And I learned how to create it. And now that pride's for me. So come see. Oh, come eat.
Welcome back to the Silver Lining Podcast. I am your host, Sterlington. This is my host, Cam. How you doing, Cam?
I am doing great, my man. I am doing fantastic. It's another day closer to training camp. Looking
Yo,
forward to that.
I'm with it. Yeah, we've been out on a little break. It's mostly been a break just because that's how the schedule worked. For those who listen to any type of regularity, I've been working 6 days a week. So, sometime on the seventh day, I'll be like, ain't even God took a rest on the seventh day. Let me go ahead and take a little rest here. I'll be tired. But
Hey, amen, brother.
a
Amen.
lot of stuff going on. Got training camp coming up. I just finished watching the quarterback series with Kirk Cousins. So yeah, we got some stuff to talk about, man.
Oh, of course, man. I mean, plus it's summertime, man. It's a little slow. It's a dead period. We're enjoying our lives as well. So, we got a
That's
little bit
how I
of
be.
that. But I am excited to talk about our Falcons. Of course, we have Kirk Cousins and the quarterback series, which I watched it all the way through. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Between Kirk and Jared Goff and Joe Burrow, it was very interesting, especially considering the end of the season. It really mattered for all three teams. Like it really came down to the wire for everybody. Of course, I mean, it didn't end the way we wanted to, but it was nice to relive the journey.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so
We
I,
found out
I
so much, bro. It was just so much more going on, man. Like, ultimately, I'm gonna be honest. I did, and maybe it's because I already kind of had like a little bit of a soft spot with Kirk, where I'm gonna keep it real. I'm Falcons first, so it's like, yeah, whatever. But I did feel like I did forget some of the human element when talking about the situation Kirk was going through and how he felt about it. Kirk has been nothing but professional since he's been benched, if we're being honest. He didn't show the voluntary OT. Okay, yeah. So a 14-year veteran didn't come to voluntary minicamp. He got a fucking family. He got kids and shit. So yeah, yeah, I want to hang out with my family right now. I'm working out, and when the mandatory stuff show up, I'll be there. You know what I'm saying? Um, but yeah, look, I was going through it, and um I feel like a lot of this situation, it makes me reevaluate the quarterback stuff. Not the show, just with us. Taking, paying Kirk Cousins and then taking Michael Penix Jr. and how we did kind of on. I think, matter of fact, before I get on that, what I wanted to say was, I think quarterback for me personally confirmed that the Falcons didn't know they were going to take a quarterback until Michael Penix Jr. was available with them at that pick.
oh absolutely, I
Um,
agree with that take.
Now what confirmed it for me, right, is some people might say that the Falcons, did bad business by Kirk or whatever, and I'm not going to get into the dollars and cents because I don't think I don't think that shit, right? But what I was thinking was, if you look back at the Falcons' history, right? At least under Terry Fontenot, honestly, the Falcons have been pretty good business. One of the things that I think we forget when we talk about, how the Falcons do business was when we had Calvin Ridley. There was a point in time where he had requested a trade, and we were going to trade him, and
Mhm.
Philadelphia was going to give us a first round pick for Calvin Ridley. They wouldn't have got AJ Brown. They were gonna get Calvin Ridley with a first round pick, and Atlanta turned down the trade because they had gotten wind that Calvin Ridley was about to be suspended. So they didn't want to do that. They didn't want to engage in bad business.
Mhm.
That would have been good business for them. It'd have been bad down the line. You get a reputation, or maybe you don't get a reputation. Maybe Philadelphia just like, we don't do business with them no more, whatever. But Atlanta, that's the strong point of business. And I think, when I think about how all of it went down with Michael Penix Jr., how they said they went to the camp, they just saw him throwing the ball in the rain and was blown away. They said they had him rated as the second best quarterback prospect behind Caleb Williams. And then, he's available there at 8. I think they on the spot was like, I think we're going to take the quarterback. Because, at the end of the day, Kirk was a 36-year-old quarterback coming off of an Achilles injury.
Mm-hmm.
And even in the most positive scenario, that leaves you with like 4 years of Kirk Cousins level play. You know what I'm saying? And you think you're staring at a guy who can be your quarterback for the next 10 plus years, and you think he might even have a higher ceiling than the guy you got now. I mean, and then you just went through what you went through with, Desmond Ritter and Marcus Mariota and the last year Matt Ryan and all of that. And it's like,
What have we always said?
quarterback, worst place to be is quarterback purgatory.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And then you think about all of that, and it's like, well, yeah, their hand was kind of forced in that situation.
Of course, of course. And like what people need to realize is that from Kirk's perspective, he has every right to feel, well, damn, I thought they were bringing me in to like steer the ship, and he may think he has at least 4 good years left in him. Hey, Tom Brady has changed the perspective of how long quarterbacks can actually play. A lot of them fall off a cliff after a certain age.
Yeah,
Tom Brady is the exception to the rule. And a
yeah,
lot of that was up here. Tom Brady was an excellent processor. There's a reason why he won 7 Super Bowls.
yeah.
But nonetheless, I get Kirk's gripe, but at the same time, he has to understand the Falcon perspective where this isn't about you. Even though we paid you all that money, it's about what's best for the franchise. And what's best for the franchise is making sure you have a contingency plan of signing a quarterback that just came off an Achilles. That's good. What's bad business is the amount of money we paid him. What's good what's what's good business is that we made sure we had a backup in case something went wrong. And what happened? Something went wrong. So something else that quarterback docu-series was it was good to relive the season again. Because we gotta talk about it. The season was a roller coaster, man. Of course, we didn't start off at the strongest. I think we started off with was it 1-2?
Yeah.
I
We
believe
had
we started
lost
the year
to
off
the
1-2,
Steelers and the Chiefs at home.
and then next thing you know, we're 6-3. Kirk Cousins on Matt Ryan's Ring of Honor initiation night breaks his single game passing yard record, and then
Yeah.
wins the game in OT,
Yeah.
and then has the crowd swag surfing.
Yeah. And, and,
Dog,
and, and Kirk was peeping at the game before too. Kirk was like, yo,
yes,
this
bro.
swag stuff shit goes really hard.
I won't forget it.
I make
Kirk
him sound like
piped
a
the city
vampire
up,
almost.
dog. We hadn't had good, and you mentioned it. We hadn't had good quarterback play since Matt Ryan left. We had Marcus Mariota. We had Desmond Ritter. This city was craving, needing good quarterback play. So what did we do as a franchise? We went out and made sure we had quality quarterback play. And Kirk Cousins is a step up from what we had. Granted, things were looking good, and then the Saints game happened, and then all the injuries compounded. You got the shoulder, you got the elbow, you got the ankle.
Right.
All the injuries compounded, and the team, the facility, the city still rallied around Kirk. Say, hey, you got a little rough patch right now, but we still gonna stick. We still gonna stick behind you.
Because I'd like to think that we hadn't forgot the front half of the year. People acting like Kirk was, straight trash all year, and it's like that's not true.
Exactly. Kirk had us riding very high. Like I said, a roller coaster year, man.
Yeah.
And people got upset. I know some fans got upset. when it came to us benching Kirk. Now, I actually agree with Raheem. I agree with sticking with Kirk for as long as you can. We gave him
Yeah.
ample opportunity. Now, granted, we got our backs blown out against Denver, and then
Yeah.
the following week we have Minnesota. And
No, no,
granted, we
no.
had
The following was the Chargers and then Minnesota.
oh, oof.
Yeah, yeah, I know. Yeah.
You're right. You're right.
You,
Oh my
you, you
god. Oh
know, your
my
brain
god.
blotted
Oh,
out that Chargers game because that's just that it was unacceptable. Look, man.
exactly. Now,
I
some
felt like I
people.
gained a lot, just as like you, man. I gained just as much perspective. I was like, I felt like it was the right move at the time too because I think about the show. I just think about the human element, and you want Kurt to know he is the guy. Like you do invite a certain level of quarterback controversy in when you take a quarterback in the first round after paying him. You know what I'm saying? Like if the Desmond Ritter we had already seen was still on the roster when Kirk Cousins was here, I don't think people would be like cheering for Desmond Ritter to get in the game or complaining about Kirk Cousins and saying, "Man, put Desmond in the game." Ain't nobody saying because we already did that. We saw that. Ain't no way
Mhm.
nobody gonna want to do that. But because we got Penix there, first rounder who we ain't seen, and Kirk was playing bad. It's like you invite that in, so he want to reassure Kirk that he's the guy, but at the same time, you know, you watching what you see out there on the field, and it's like, so when can I look at Kirk and say it's time to take him out? And then Kirk on the other hand, um, Kirk had a hard decision with his arm. It's like, yeah, I could take myself out of the game. But if I tap out, I might not get my job back. You know what I'm saying? And one of the things I was thinking about where I started kind of understanding Kirk's perspective a little more is that yo, when they showed them, just the parts of the series where Kirk was went back to Minnesota, when they went back to Minnesota, yo, them jokers know Kirk there. They love Kirk there. They was like, yo, that's our guy. And so imagine you done left the place you done got drafted and made a new home. Not went to a new place. You had a new home. Them people love you there. Like they look at you as a huge positive there. You know what I'm saying? They like really fuck with you there. And then you done gone to this new place. And all that stuff you did before was good. We hoping you do it with us, but you hadn't done it here. So now, as soon as you start having bad games, we ready to turn because it's like, hey, we don't got a bunch of good memories of you with us. You know what I'm saying? Like, we had, the 500-yard game,
Mhm.
good memory. We had the Philly ending.
Mhm.
That was a good memory. The second Tampa Bay game, the Dallas game, those were some good memories. But they wasn't so good that they could overcome that game you had against the Chargers. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't so good that they could overcome all the interceptions and the turnovers he was having. You know what I'm saying? So
No,
like
I completely agree.
that's why I felt the sympathy for him, but at the same time, man, I'm hearing you talk about Raheem and when it's time to switch, and it's like, yeah, you want to stick with him, shorty guy, but at the same time, man, you wanted to let him fight for his job. But
And
shit,
at the end of the day, in my opinion, we let him fight for his job.
yeah,
He lost it. After that Las Vegas Raider game,
yeah,
that was the nail in the coffin right there. That was the moment where I was like, all right, you've shown us enough because we almost lost that game in spite of you.
yeah,
Yeah, so yeah, the switch was needed, and I thought he handled it very well. He showed true sportsmanship. He was a real
yeah.
man about it.
Be a
Like I
team player, yeah.
a great exactly a team player.
Be a
And at the
leader.
end of the day, your play speaks for itself, and it wasn't good enough. Now that kind of leads us into I guess training camp. heading towards the new season. Where does that leave him? Where does it where does that leave a lot of guys on the team? We have a lot of questions coming up.
Yeah. So with Kirk, man, I think we know firmly where that leave him, man. Kirk, yeah, he could be too. And hopefully, if all goes well, it stays that way. But we do gotta acknowledge that Michael Penix Jr., he got some injury concerns. And I won't even call them concerns. I'll call it an injury history, right? So he did have 4 years where he was out, but he had 2 consecutive years where he didn't miss a game. So, there's hope that he done sorted all that out. But man, when we talk about the rest of the depth chart, so there's areas of the team where I think, both of us kind of feel like, all right, we pretty impressed with the depth. And like honestly, I think in my wildest dreams, I would have never said this, but one of the areas I'm kind of sated with for now, like if they made a move, I wouldn't be mad if they like brought in like Trey Hendrickson or something crazy like that. But when every Tom, Dick, and Harry get released, I don't feel like, oh, they need to bring in that person is the edge rusher group. I'm like, oh, I think we got some depth there.
We got some
But
guys, man.
yeah. But then when I look around other areas of the team, I'm like, who the hell the backup center? If Ryan News will get hurt, who coming in?
Great question.
You know what I'm saying? Um, who's our true D tackles here? Like what now what groups you feel like got the most holes in it?
All right, we can start at D tackle. Let's name them. We got Anyamata.
Yep.
We got Rook.
We got Root.
We got Dorless. Kinda.
Maybe Taquan Graham. Is he gonna be on the 53 on game day?
But I say, is Taquan even gonna make the team? So I'm
Okay.
like, I kind of agree with you. We have addressed the edge problem, but right now, as far as D tackles, I'm not really strong on that. Our team is kind of looking like it can get ran on.
Yo. And I'm
Just
kind
based
of
off how we're
like,
built.
that's kind of why I'm excited, kind of like, wanting to see what happened in camp. Guys get hit now. You know what I'm saying? Guys ready to put some contact in. I'm like, yo, man, let these boys bring somebody to the ground. Let me see what this run D looking like.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, honest to God, that's where Kirk gonna be like one of the biggest weapons for us. Boy, I hope Kirk puts so much stress on that defense in practice. I need the coaches to know everything wrong about this team when they play. I want them boys to run the ball down their throat, see what happened. I want these boys to have Kirk over here putting them in trouble. On the scout team, hopefully. Kirk ready to be a player. He did a little scout team apparently. So yeah, man, I'm trying to like, yo, figure this out before the season, man. Find out if we need to have these dudes in playing in these preseason games. Heck, is Kirk gonna play in the preseason?
I'm gonna be honest. I think Kirk has another stretch of good football left in him. I think
Yeah,
he'll be. I think he'll be fully healthy, a full year removed from the to 2 years
Achilles
removed from
injury.
the
Yeah,
Achilles. I think he'll have recovered from the shoulder and the elbow. I think Kirk has another good stretch of football. Now, granted, I'm hoping as a Falcon fan we don't have to see that.
right.
I'm hoping that Michael Penix is healthy and we don't have to see Kirk Cousins play. But right now, I'm happy with our quarterback room because we got a healthy Kirk Cousins. And I know, Lord forbid, if Michael Penix get hurt, I think we have a potential Carson Wentz, Nick Foles situation
Yeah,
where Kirk Cousins can come in and still lead the offense, and we can still get some dubs because this offense is good. Like as far as the offense is concerned, the only real hole I see is what we got at center. Like our offensive line is kind of set, our weapons are
yeah.
kind of set. running back is set. Like offense is set. We have invested heavily on the
Look,
offensive side, and
when we talk,
it
look,
has shown.
bro, when we talking about offense, I feel that's the reason why I be the way I am about Zach Robinson, because I'm like, yo, Zach, you pull it together, and this thing gonna be clicking. And honestly, that's another thing that I didn't talk about as far as going forward, where I get a lot of the hope for this offense going forward from a quarterback was Kirk. I'm gonna say he admitted he was hurt. And we saw the drop off and play at that quarterback position, but we saw what it could be when Kirk was healthy, and we saw what it could be with a healthy Michael Penix. And so, if you take that little slice of hurt Kirk out of the equation, this offense could be a buzzsaw maybe.
I completely agree. So, and I can kind of make up for the fact that our defense is a little weak in the middle.
Yeah, yeah, and look, they got a vision. It's really just about the ability to execute it, and it's like, man, y'all still got to find ways to get sacks. Now, what I will say is, and this is things that I'm interested to see about how much of this shows up at camp, and how much of these young guys, particularly the rookies, obviously, and the undrafted free agents, all these ones that they're getting all this hype. Oh, we got Kobe Bryant, we got Nick Nash, we got all these real good undrafted free agents and whatnot, and I want to see if any of them could carve a role out for themselves on the team. And, I want to see how these rookies can impact, from day one, who's going to, really help us put together the strategy. Because I think obviously the strategy is that, we score the points and then we rush the passer and take the ball away. And so we invested heavily in the edge. We feel good about the edge group, but it's like, what we got on the back end. Is Xavier Watts, is Billy Bowman, is Kobe Bryant, is all these young guys going to give us the infusion of talent we need, right, at these spots to be able to execute it. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. I think that's something we just gotta see once we start getting into preseason.
No, I agree, man. I agree. There are far more question marks on the defensive side of the ball than offense. And like you said, we need to find out what some of these undrafted free agents can do. We need to find out what some of these, like Xavier Watts, Billy Bowman, what can some of these high draft picks can do? What can James Pierce Jr. do? What can
Jalen Walker.
Jalen Walker do? What can all these defensive additions do for us, man? And we need them to contribute. We are in a position where we need our rookies to contribute heavily on the defensive side of the ball. That's just the way our team is set up. Now, granted, next year we can invest some more, but we haven't gotten to next year just yet. But I'm looking forward to it. I know training camp starts on Thursday. I really can't wait for that first preseason game. I know Kirk better play. I know.
I mean, he might not play, man. They might look at him and say, "Yeah, 14-year vet, he don't need to play." Like we know
Yeah,
he's in there.
that honestly might be the case. That might be the case. But I like to see him play. But if not, then so be it. I know I want to see Michael Penix play at least a drive.
Yeah.
We need at least one from him. But aside from that, a lot of the vets we don't really need to see play. Defense on the defensive side of the ball, we're gonna need to see a lot of people play.
Yeah.
Because we got a lot of things that need to get worked out. And we can't wait until week 1 to start saying, oh, now we can start making these adjustments. We need to start making these adjustments as soon as
especially
possible.
with who we got coming out of the gate. No, you about to
Exactly.
sweat. You about to work right from day one. This ain't gonna be no destitute Steelers offense that you face in week 1. You get the
Exactly.
Bucks, and you better believe they remember they lost to us twice last year. You know what I'm saying? And then you get in Minnesota, and we in Minnesota. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so you better believe, like, yo, the defense need to be ready to play right out of the gate.
No, I agree. I agree, man. I agree.
All right. Well, like to say that there was more, but I'm ready to go because we've been working. Anything else you want to say to the nice and good folks that listen to this podcast, this episode, Cam, before we get up out of here?
Hey, I hope you guys enjoy it. Always have a pleasure making it for you guys. It's fun. It's fun, man. Just a little something to keep you guys entertained during this dead period. We'll keep you guys updated during training camp.
All right, man. Well, look, I'm super excited about training camp coming up. Definitely looking forward. I would love to actually have gone out this weekend, but I have a pre-arranged family event that I'm attending this weekend. So unfortunately, I can't make it out. Maybe Cam will make it out. We'll see what happens. But thank you so much for watching, and stay classy. Put the lotion on so you're not ashy, and get up out of here. So, please like, subscribe, share, comment, hit the little bell when you want some real niggas uploading. Peace.